Good morning, everyone. This is TJ. Welcome to either the Conscious Health Podcast or my YouTube channel, whichever one you're listening/viewing this on. And today we're going to go over my brief story of how I healed dog allergies using plant medicine. Specifically, I used LSD to help me to make that transition from being someone living in fear with dogs to someone who now has an Australian Shepherd that sheds all year round, and I have no allergies. So basically the premise here is for a while I knew that I had a subconscious fear with dogs because I remember as a kid I liked dogs somewhat, but for whatever reason I also was really scared of them. So I wouldn't mind seeing them, but if they got too close, it was to the point where I didn't want them to touch me. I didn't want to get close. And I don't know what exactly started that, but I knew it was there. But it was there for so long that I forgot about it. So as I got older, I actually had a dog growing up. I don't remember having serious allergies, but I may have had a little bit with this dog. And so that wasn't as big of a deal. It wasn't as prevalent. And then as I got older, I was living in a place that had a husky. And so with this husky, I would have dog allergies with it. And it was to the point where it was just normal for me to take Claritin every single day just to deal with the husky, because I love this dog. I don't want to be away from him. I take him on walks. I do all that stuff, but it took a lot of Claritin and a lot of just relaxing just to be able to breathe, and a lot of blowing my nose. So it wasn't a big deal, but it was annoying. And then as I was living this place with this husky, me and my wife also decided to get a lab. So as many of you know who have dog allergies, if you get a labs are one of the worst dogs to have dog allergies because they have even more dander than a husky does. And so we got this lab dog, who's just so cute. He's a beautiful puppy. And so we got this lab, and then my allergies got really bad to the point where we only had him for 1 week before we gave him back to the rescue shelter. And my allergies were just so bad that I almost had to go to the hospital because at one point, slowly over time, I just had more and more issues breathing. I had to keep blowing my nose, and then got to the point where I couldn't take a full breath. And by about 6-7 days of having this lab, the same day that we returned him, this is with a pet allergen filter. This is with me just basically spending my entire time in a room without the lab, having the lab somewhere else. And so by the 6th or 7th day, it was to the point where my wife had to drive me to the other side of town just to go get a nebulizer so I could breathe. So it got really bad. And so, and I've always been big into meditation, but especially at this time, I was getting more into plant medicine, using cannabis, mushrooms, whatever. And I was meditating, and I was getting really big into this phase of healing. And I knew it was possible somehow for me to be able to heal through dog allergies. And I knew it was possible. I didn't know how exactly I was going to do it. So our bodies have the capability of being able to heal, to be able to transform, because our bodies naturally do this. You get a cut, your body heals. You break a bone, you use some things to help it, like what's it called? Creating a splint and whatnot. You do certain things or a cast. You do certain things to help your body to assist it in its own healing process. So everything in nature, it naturally heals, because that's what nature does. It's really, we're imbued with love. We're imbued with this healing nature to be able to do that. The issue is with us humans, our egos get in the way. We start thinking about other things, we get really distracted, and we forget our beautiful healing nature that we actually are at the core. And so anyway, plant medicine, psychedelics, LSD in this case, is very good at helping us to get back to that innocence, that core of ourselves that doesn't involve the ego, and it helps us to be able to get into that inner healing part of ourselves, that part of ourselves that's inner peace and inner love. And so I was having these issues breathing. We got rid of the dog. Eventually, of course, we had to vacuum the place, we had a really deep clean, and I was doing okay. Then a few months later, I really wanted a dog. My dream dog is a mini Australian Shepherd, and that's what I have now. But of course, they shed all year round. They at least have a little bit of dander, and I was done with dog allergies. I was upset about not being able to have a dog without having health issues. And so I also happened to make a new friend that also happened to be selling LSD. I'd never done acid. I'd done mushrooms and weed, which I have other healing experiences with, but I ended up trying this LSD, and I did it with the single intention that I was going to heal from dog allergies. And I told myself and I wasn't necessarily expecting an entire 100% free dog allergies transformation. I just figured I'd maybe make a little baby step somehow, letting go of my fear. But I also I didn't limit myself too much. I didn't have too many expectations. I just wanted to make at least some progress in getting rid of this allergy, because the way I see it was my subconscious fear, because it was implanted in my brain, even though it really made no sense because dogs don't frequently attack me, especially not now. And so it made no sense in my brain, but I was believing it. I was giving attention to this negative thought that subconsciously somehow a dog was going to do something to me. And so because of this fear, it was causing my body to release histamine. So whenever I'd be around a dog, especially a dog that has lots of dander, then my body released histamine. And to me, when you have an allergy to something, you're allergic to something, your body's releasing this chemical, it's telling this body, oh, we must do something to get away from this chemical, whatever it is you're allergic to. And in my case, it was dogs. And so I knew if my body's releasing histamine, having this reaction to dogs, because of subconscious fear, then I must be able to get over that fear somehow. And for whatever reason, even though I was around dogs, I still hadn't gotten over that fear. I hadn't made that mental jump. Even though I'd been around dogs and petting them, I was still having allergies. And so I took the LSD, and it was a beautiful, amazing experience. As anyone who has done psychedelics will know somewhat what it's like. You get into a place where you feel that a loving, peaceful innocence. And of course, this video isn't all about just worshiping psychedelics. It's about actually worshiping the God that's within and without, and that's everywhere. And psychedelics are able to help us to be able to do that better, easier, because it dampens the effects of the ego that we all have. And so I had this beautiful experience, and I got to a point where I was meditating, and of course I was at the point where I felt uncomfortable. My fears were very easily seen at that point. And that's what psychedelics help us to do. It helps us to see things a lot more clearly than we're used to. And so I saw this fear. I remember meditating. I remember just being like, you know what, God, universe, whatever I need to do to be able to release this fear, let me do it. I'll go head on. I'll take it head on. I'm ready. And so I remember meditating. I was in silence, and I got this beautiful state where I was to let go of certain fears, including the dog and the fear of dogs. And so I was able to get in that state. I let go of the fear. And then once I was done, I felt amazing. I was in tears, I was crying, and I told my wife, let's go test it. Let's go out and let's go to the pound. And so sure enough, we walked each aisle of a dog pound that was near us, and I didn't blow my nose once. And instead I went there, I just opened up my heart, and I could feel the pain of the dogs that were trapped there, but I could also feel my heart being in tune with all these beautiful souls, these beautiful dogs, and how much I could love them and not be scared of them. No matter what they were going through. And so I was able to open my heart to dogs again, have this new profound love that I've had ever since. So now, of course, I have my dream dog, my mini Australian Shepherd, and I don't suffer from any dog allergies. I go to dog parks regularly, and I'm around huskies, all labs, all sorts of dogs, and I'm completely fine. So this video is a testament, one of the many that you can find on YouTube, to the ability that our bodies have to be able to heal, to be able to get in that space where there is inner peace, there is love. And a lot of us either forget this, even people like me who are all health nutty and into plant medicine, all the stuff, even I forget it day by day, but it's a constant remembrance of our true loving and peaceful nature. So if you want to learn more about this stuff and hear more experience I've had, because I've had many about this, I've actually written a book called Stop Waiting for Heaven. And I have the link in the description either below for this YouTube video, or it's on the podcast information, depending on how you're viewing or listening to this. But that book is all about not only this experience, but many others I've had where that prove, at least to me in my life, that inner peace is achievable. It's there, and it's actually super easy to realize. But it's simple, and yet it can be difficult. And so I want to share this video and share my book with you, in hopes that you can find the same inner peace, that inner love, that inner tranquility that I have found. And it's also able to help me to get my body to a maximum potential for healing, to be able to heal and to love more, to open our hearts more. As I've gotten older, I've only had less health issues. And so I want this for you. And in order for you to get there, it might take a little bit of learning from maybe my examples I've had in my life. So whether it be through podcast, YouTube video, my books, I hope something here can help you, and I hope you've been blessed by this today somehow. If you want to help me out, go ahead and like or subscribe to this channel, so then these good healing modalities and things can be out there on the internet for more people to listen to and to view and to have access to, and to realize that there's a God within that we can all reach, and this is possible for all of us. All right, much love to all you guys. Thank you for listening. Appreciate your time. We'll see you.